What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Press Box. I'm here with Jalen, Lonnie, the double champ, Trent, and my dog, Riddell. And for a special time, we got my dog, Cowboys Beat. If you know him, he definitely had this show on Player's Choice where he was talking about the Cowboys and the nasty ass Cowboys. But unfortunately, we were supposed to have Terrence Parsons Jr. on the show. Unfortunately, Chad, we're going to reschedule that to Monday. He will still be on the show. We hope that Cowboy can make it for that one because that'll definitely be a real interesting show. A lot to talk about, hella questions, could get a little spicy. Other platforms might have to take that content from us. You know how that goes. Never get our flowers, but it is what it is. But we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of the show. Cowboy, as of late, the NFLPA, they put out pretty much their grades on some of the teams' facilities, training staff, how they treat families, a multitude of things. This is graded by the players on their NFL teams. My question to you is, were you able to check out how the players graded the Cowboys? And what are your thoughts on the NFL allowing the players, or the NFLPA allowing the players to actually judge how their day-to-day with these NFL teams are like?
So I saw that. I know that their facilities ranked very high. I didn't see like the whole NFLPA report card. But to your second point, I do like the fact that they allowed the players to voice how they feel about the teams and the way they're treated within these locker rooms, because I feel like a lot of times the fans will look at players and kind of say, oh well, you get paid so much money, this, that, and the third. But I mean, it really is important to keep these guys happy, just because it's good to have a good work environment. And at the end of the day, if you're somebody that goes to a job every day, you would want the best facilities, the management to treat you right, and all these other things. So I do like the fact that the NFLPA is allowing them to do this. Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Anybody else want to chime in on the thoughts on the NFLPA? I thought this was pretty interesting. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lonnie.
It definitely brings light to like certain player situations when they say like, "Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go there," because you can clearly see not all teams are equal, and some teams are kind of shisty. Like some of the reports from like the Redskins facilities and like the Cardinals and things like that. Like some of them are just like, they make you do what? They make you go through what? Like some of them have like archaic, like just regular dumbbell weight rooms and stuff like that. Then you see other teams that you wouldn't think of, like, oh, they give you free daycare. They give like your spouses all this extra support. They do this and that. So it's like when people are wondering, like, oh, why would they sign with this team and not this team? We don't know about all these perks, and like some of these teams, like they be undercutting these players, like making them pay for this, making them pay for food, making them pay for their jerseys, extra gear, stuff like that. While other teams like, hey, we'll give it to you all for free and then some. So yeah, it really sheds light on like the different dynamics of the NBA and how like these different franchises operate.
Word.
It is interesting to see that the Chiefs were ranked 31st in workplace conditions, and they're clearly been the premier franchise of the past 4 or 5 seasons within the league. So what does correlate towards winning? I do think it's interesting. At the end of the day, I don't think it correlates too much, obviously, with the Chiefs situation. But I think players will take notice. And I think this will be an eye-opener for teams in the bottom, because it's just kind of embarrassing, I think, for any owner to have a team in the bottom of workplace conditions. Nobody wants that. So I could see the bottom 5 teams, but I think the Commanders, Chiefs, Chargers, Patriots, Steelers, they'll definitely make some improvements. They don't want to be in the bottom 5 again. So I do think it's good for keeping them.
A lot of these organizations are very lucky, though. I mean, Chiefs in particular, right? And even the Steelers to an extent, is that they have a head coach that is actually extremely highly rated. If it wasn't for Andy Reid, these Chiefs players probably be even more pissed. But they rated Andy Reid an A+, deservingly so. I would be surprised if Mike Tomlin got at least like an A, at the very least a B, depending on how they feel about him in the locker room. So they can kind of keep things together, keep the culture together, because that owner for the Chiefs was rated an F. Like, he's terrible, apparently. He doesn't do anything. Hey, we need better locker rooms. Nah. Hey, we need better training equipment. Nah. Like, that's terrible right there. That is terrible. And if it wasn't for Andy Reid, if it wasn't for the coaching staff that plays into what J-Rob says all the time when it comes to head coaching, then this probably would be a worse situation altogether. And if you really think about it, since Andy Reid came here and Patrick Mahomes came here, the Chiefs franchise wasn't really like that as of recently, since the 2000s. They weren't really a successful franchise. So that just pays into, if you got the right coach and the right players, you might be able to make it work.
It is crazy to see that, how I know I see some pictures of some of these facilities. A lot of college teams have way better facilities than these NFL teams. I see a lot of these college facilities.
That's actually very true.
Like Oregon looks crazy, or Ohio State looks crazy. Like some of these college teams are way nicer. And I just don't think I get college football is big, money coming in, but there's no way an NFL team should be behind a college.
Bro,
go ahead, Trent.
It's because, like, bro, like, when, like, for college, everything has to be a presentation too. When you go on visits, they're gonna see that way, like, damn, this is a big ass weight room. But also, you go to work there. NFL, like my dad say, bring a lot. That shit, you get your work done and you move on. That's not, it's not no
special, like live there.
Yeah, like you go there, get your work done, move on. That's why, like, the college facilities, you got, like, when you bring kids on visits, like, a lot of people get parents and they get wild at, oh, look how big, like, Alabama's weight room. Good God, that shit is crazy. Like, that shit is two flights, bro. That shit is crazy. All types in there. NFL, bro, there's one weight room, a bunch of racks. You get to work and you move on. But does that NFLP, it counts like training staff too?
Yeah, so it counts like training staff. Because and the thing is, I want people to also understand, like, I guess players are allowed to, like, write in, I guess, notes about some of their grades. Like, for example, I want to say it was, I don't want to, I think it was, I don't even want to say the team because I don't want to be saying the wrong team, but one of the teams had like a D for training staff, but it was because they didn't feel like the training staff had enough resources. You know what I'm saying? Not that the training staff was bad, because I think they had said, like, the lead trainers, they graded the trainer themselves good, but the staff as a whole, it was bad because they didn't feel like they had enough resources to maintain a football team. And I will say, listen, I didn't play in the NFL, but just from playing in college, like, my football team was massive because you have walk-ons, practice players, then you got the guys that travel. Like, there was a bunch of us. And even when we traveled deep. Like, the UConn had a private plane and we packed out the whole plane because of coaching staff. So it's a lot of people. And so I do think you got to be on, like, football teams are the roster itself is 53. It's a lot of people for essentially 4 people maybe to manage. It's still a lot, you know, and you don't know what people's injuries are. Some things need more time and care than others. So I think that's a big issue for sure. Like the Jets, bro, we got a D- in family. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that is.
You know what I'm saying? Because to rank D-, I think if there's anything the NFL teams should have a priority about is at least trying to accommodate the families of their players. Because the thing is, all of these families are giving up the men in their lives for the NFL. Kids miss out on birthdays, miss out on graduations, recitals. Shit, Trent is a son of a NFL coach. He's lived the life firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you lose a lot of things because of the commitment that the NFL adds. Like, and so the fact that, you know, maybe just simple things like a daycare, just making sure there is a designated family area for players, making sure when they're on even a ticket package, like tickets for family shouldn't cost as much as it costs. You know what I'm saying? Even things of that nature. So when you look at all of that, I think family, it's embarrassing to be a D- or even lower when it comes to family. You don't get them free.
My main thing is, like, some of the things that are listed are like inexcusable.
Hell nah.
I thought every player would get like 3 tickets or something.
So the NFL is trying to get to that ticket no matter what. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, some of the things listed though are inexcusable because these are like still billion-dollar organizations, but they have like moldy showers, weight room that hasn't been updated in like 20 years, like things like that. Like some of their medical staff have been working since the 70s. So it's like, yo, they're not with the new type of technology and medical advancements and stuff like that. Like, I don't want no 80-year-old guy after I tear my ACL telling me to, like, slap something on my knee and I'll be like, no. It's like, so you see a lot of these companies that like a lot of these organizations have billions of dollars in revenue every year, cutting corners. It makes no sense.
And you know what else? To Lonnie's point as well. This is why a lot of athletes, when they get injured, they don't really rely solely on the medical staff of the team, and that's why you see a lot of them. Usually, when they get hurt, their agent calls somebody's guy. You know, Kobe's guy. You know, Aaron's guy. You know, we're gonna talk to this guy and go out our way to get the best possible treatment because, like Lonnie says, some of the people who are there are just outdated. And I think it's okay to admit that you're just outdated. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect example when Trent Williams was on the Redskins and he had that lump, and they kept on telling him it was just a regular cyst. It's a regular cyst, and they told him that for years. And then next thing you know, he goes to get a second opinion because he's starting not to feel right, and it ended up being cancer. And then, then he ended up suing the Redskins and stuff like that because he's like, "Yo, I had cancer this whole time. You kept on telling me it was just like a cyst or just like a little infection that would just go away. But I had cancer for years, and you guys didn't say anything to me." So
yeah, some facilities, some organizations definitely deserve criticism. But what is surprising to me when I was looking through it is, I'll be honest, I just looked at the Cowboys. You know how we criticized Jerry Jones for putting too much of a spotlight on the Cowboys and X, Y, and Z. If you look at all the rankings, bro, they're high in so many things. They're like tied for first in so many categories. And you look at it like, yeah, we criticize Jerry Jones, but he takes care of his players. He takes care of his facilities. He's really that guy who's making sure that they have the best that they gotta have. And that begs to something I think Jalen said. At the end of the day, we see the Chiefs being second to last, and we see the Cowboys being basically on top. And then someone said the Bears are ranked really high. Like, does this even really translate to winning at the end of the day?
Nah. Hold on. There's some context to that. Go ahead, Cowboy.
And what's crazy is like when that's not even just like with Jerry Jones, it goes all the way down to like his security guards that work at the games. Like people, like the security guards even talk about how well that he treats them and how he goes and talks to them, you know, a lot. And yeah, I mean, look, one thing that I, you know, to go back to your point, J-Rob, teams should not be below a B- when it comes to families, because this isn't one of those situations to where, you know, like all the teams are ranked in a certain way. Like just because the Buccaneers get, you know, an A for family or an A for weight room or something like that doesn't mean that every other team can't get an A. You know what I'm saying? It's not that type of ranking. So yeah, I mean, the fact that like what you said, family is so low for some teams, that to me is wild. And I was actually shocked that they released something like this, but you know, I do like it.
It holds them accountable.
I'm kind of surprised because being with my possible been on multiple teams, like majority of the times, like the family, like they're good, they're situated. So like who are the teams that got like a D- in the family?
I know the Jets were real bad. I don't think I gotta look at the list again, but I know
the Cardinals had an F,
and the Cardinals as well.
The Bengals had an F. Crazy.
Yeah, but the Bengals, I'm not surprised. They are literally known to have the worst
facilities and all that.
Yeah, having the cheapest owner. The Dolphins were phenomenal. I mean,
I saw that.
Listen, fellas, they literally got straight A's. Like when it comes to rank out of 32, they are literally really they are either 1, 2, or 3 in every single.
The Chargers
category.
And the Rams had bad fit, bro. LA just don't like families apparently.
I'm just kind of. What was the Giants rank?
So I'll give you you want the Giants full rank. The Giants ranked. I know the owner. Oh wait, hold on. Here we go.
Mr. Mara, he probably
gonna look at the entire thing.
I'm about to look for the whole thing. Head coach, I can tell you this: work conditions, Commanders were 32nd. Working conditions.
That's not surprising.
That's insane. Head coach Josh McDaniels was the worst. And then willing to invest owners. Number 1, Stephen Ross of the Dolphins. Actually, Clark Hunt of the Chiefs. He was the worst one.
Yeah, F-, bro. That's what the Chiefs owner got. That's crazy to me.
Wow.
The Giants, I just found it. They're 8th overall. Like they actually have really good ratings all the way around. And it seems like the players, for the most part, it's a bunch of B+. They got an A+ in training staff, and then A- in team travel. So they travel really good.
Hey, so Sirianni got an A. Were we too hard on Sirianni? Because they give this is voted by his players. They rocking with Cuz.
I mean, I feel like this. I think we're not too hard on Sirianni, but that last report that just came out about what with his bodyguard. Remember the dude that had the altercation with the 49ers player with Drake Greenlaw?
Yeah.
They said it was a report that like, when Big Dom was off the field, it caused Nick Sirianni to have more arguments with the players. I'm like, that can't be.
He helped them keep him in check, is what they says. Like he was,
he's argumentative apparently, so he gets into more arguments with players when he's not around.
He calms them down, which is crazy for a head coach. By the way,
you a grown ass man. I ain't gonna
lie. I feel that. I like Sirianni, man. He got some chutzpah to him. But I want to move on to this question, y'all. I really want to talk about this because I feel like this conversation is coming back around. Obviously, Justin Fields was on a podcast with the Sun God and his brother Equanimous, and pretty much he talked about how like they asked him about him, I'm following the Bears and things of that nature. And he said, I just don't want to see football right now. I'm on vacation. He's also come out vocally and say, he kind of wants this situation to be over with. But Ryan Poles says something really interesting, and he pretty much put out a statement when asked, about the situation. Is like, I want to just do right by Justin. And clearly not doubling down to say that Justin's going to be our quarterback, kind of leaving it in the weeds, but also saying like he might be up for grabs. Like, we're going to do what I think is best for him. So at least if it sounds kind of like we might trade for him, trade the pick, but I mean, we might draft the quarterback, but we may use him and put him in a better team or whatever he thinks is the best opportunity. So with that being said, if y'all are Ryan Poles and Cowboy, I'll start with you. What would you do with the number 1 pick in the draft?
I think you got to trade Justin Fields because here's the thing, right? So what do we project that Justin Fields is going to get in another contract? What, neighborhood of $40 to $45 million, somewhere around there, we would assume. So it's not about like, I think that Caleb Williams is going to be a better player than Justin Fields. And I'm an Ohio State fan. I love Justin Fields, but I just think that, when you look at what Justin Fields could potentially be getting paid, let's just say, for example, it's $40 million. Is Justin Fields over the next few years better at $40 million than a Caleb Williams at $8 million, somewhere around that neighborhood? And I think that's the question they have to be asking themselves. And, this isn't an easy decision for Ryan Poles. Like I kind of made it seem like an easy decision, but there's players in the locker room that really want Justin Fields to be their quarterback. So, there's going to be a divide in the locker room when it comes to that. But I think when it's all said and done, drafting Caleb Williams would be the best for this team, just because, we're entering into year 4 with Justin Fields, and we're still asking questions on whether or not this guy is the guy. And another thing, right? Like we talk about his potential contract. I want a quarterback that gets paid top of the market money, because that means I have a really damn good quarterback. And the fact that he's taking below average money, obviously, it's not the end all be all, but you don't like, you want to pay your quarterback top of the market money because that means he's a top of the market quarterback.
Okay. Lonnie.
So he's in a situation where it's like he's doomed if he do, doomed if he don't.
Right.
Because the players, the fan base, they want Justin Fields. Caleb is the much better prospect, but their best player on offense, DJ Moore, I think he said yesterday, he's like, he wants them to pick MHJ. So it's like, I feel, to me, like the objective way, because I also feel like Caleb would probably rather go home and be in Washington, and he's kind of made little hints here and there that that's what he wants to do. So I think the best thing to do overall would be like, keep Justin for one more year, trade you, because Caleb's gonna get a haul. Fill out your roster, and then hey, Justin Fields stinks it up again. Go get Shador next year with all those picks that you have, or go get somebody else. You can still get a super haul, and then you have a stacked roster, like you can have a crazy roster with crazy draft picks, and then like have the draft capital get whatever quarterback you want next year. Because after next year, there's not going to be a quarterback that's going to say no to your franchise. Caleb's still like, yo, you guys are still kind of butt. But next year, Shador's going to be like, yo, I'm walking into like a little super team, and they're all young. They got a young corner. They got Sweat. They got Kmet, DJ Moore. So like, if they do trade back, they can get like maybe Neighbors or someone later in the draft. So it's like, yeah, they can have a super stacked young squad with a hella draft capital if they decide to trade it and keep Justin for another year. And if he works out, then do what you did with Jordan Love.
I think the quote. I think the quote when he said, "I want to do right by Justin Fields," I think the writing's on the wall. Justin Fields is going to get traded. I just think he's going to make an effort to put him in a good situation. Maybe trade him to a Pittsburgh. Maybe trade him to a Denver. Just a team that's maybe not in like a full rebuild, but has some pieces where he can still succeed. I just think keeping Justin Fields and passing on Caleb Williams, it just leads to arguably being the worst decision ever based on the potential of Caleb Williams. We understand Caleb Williams. He's been hyped now as a generational talent for a couple years now. It's almost like skipping over Andrew Luck in basketball. It's like almost skipping over like Victor Wemby. You just don't do it. There's just certain talents that there's so much upside to it. You just can't skip over it, because if they do skip over it, Caleb Williams has a phenomenal rookie season and it goes on a stretch where he's winning Super Bowls, whatever, you're going to be looked at as the guy who passed on a generational talent. And if they take him and he flops, it's still kind of like, okay, everyone thought he'd be great. And if he really flops, it's like, okay, everyone thought he'd be great, and you don't take as much heat because everyone thought he would be great. So there's just too much to lose by skipping over Caleb Williams. So I just think they're going to trade Justin Fields, draft Caleb, but they'll make a concentrated effort to put Fields in a good situation and not some kind of really rebuilding bad team.
Go ahead, Trent.
I think y'all know I'll do a number one pick. I would draft Caleb. But I just want to talk about what Ryan Post said, because I like the approach he came with it, because I rock with Raheem Morris, but what he said at that press, I think that was kind of OD. Like, it was kind of
the fact. It's the truth, though.
It's the truth, but I know it's the truth. But like, you could have said it.
That's as listen. The other GM for the Bills said pretty much. Yeah, listen, the GM from the Bills said, listen, I picked Josh Allen because if it worked, if it don't work, I ain't finna be here anyway. So listen, bro, these boys was out there telling their truths, bro. Them boys out there. It was for that podium telling their truths.
At least I like Ryan Post's approach with, because at least that if they trying to trade him, they're not trying to trade him to the dirt. They're gonna send him in probably in a good situation where he can probably progress as a player. Yeah, because the Falcons need a quarterback, Steelers need a quarterback, so if they can trade him off, do it. But I will say though, if the guys really feel like they want Justin, because that could cause some like what's his name chemistry issues if everybody want to keep Justin and then you draft Caleb and trade, bro. That could start off a whole different kind of world. So I will say, if the guys really fuck with Justin, shit. Go get Marvin Harrison Jr.
And that's the big thing, a part of this conversation, because it's not a simple thing where it's like generational prospect, Andrew Luck situation, no real issues. We're moving off Peyton Manning, we can draft him. Nah, you got fans really saying keep Justin. We got teammates saying keep Justin, and we got even people on the other side. To be fair, I've heard that it wasn't technically Caleb, but Caleb's camp saying I don't want to go to Chicago. Like, this is such a weird situation where it seemed like there's so many factors saying we don't want this situation when it comes to Caleb on the Bears. And it's crazy considering how good Caleb is, because they have so much belief in Justin Fields. And in reality, when it comes down to the Bears moving forward with that hole that you're talking about, not only can they fill up, get Marvin Harrison Jr., but obviously they got another pick in the top 10 and they can go another direction, either go defense, maybe go cornerback if they bring back Jalen Johnson, or go offensive line, maybe get Joe Alt or that one other tackle that has a long name that I don't know how to pronounce.
From Penn State.
Yeah. So they can go that, and obviously the other stuff they're going to get from it, they can get even more talent all across the field. So you can look at it as a lose-lose at this point. I would look at it as a win-win, and this is why I'll say a win-win, because if they do trade Caleb, this roster will be so much better, and we know how good they were last year, especially once everything came together at the end. Their defense is going to be really good next year. We know this, and if they get the necessary weapons and the play calling is obviously going to be better because they got rid of the OC from last year, that can be huge. The other part of why it's a win is if Caleb comes on this team and he wins games, none of this matters. Just none of this matters.
Right.
Moments he starts winning games and starts showing that talent, then he's like, oh, we're good. Bye, Justin. Never forget about him. So at this point, the Bears, you got to look at it like, obviously take into a lot of factors, pros and cons, but you can win in the situation regardless. If you lose, you suck. You're terrible. You all should be fired. I'll be honest. If this just fails altogether, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
But there's one aspect about Caleb that like people, because everyone says like the main knock of him, oh, he's emotional, oh, he's this and that. So if he goes to a situation where he doesn't want to be in and doesn't feel wanted, and say the first few games he doesn't play well, that's just gonna tank his confidence, and then the season's cooked. The season's cooked because they're gonna be like, oh, we should have kept Justin. If he is as emotional as people claim he is, he's not gonna want to be there. And the next thing you know, he might do some crazy shit and be like, hey, get me out of here, trade me, yada 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 yada. So it can go. I believe in Caleb. I think he's gonna play well, but it can get disastrous real quick.
Well,
go ahead, Mike. Oh, go ahead. I was saying Michael didn't get to. I want to see what he says thoughts on this. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so I think the biggest thing that I'm thinking about when I think about this situation is just there's not going to be a perfect situation when it comes to what the media says and what other people say about this. So as the GM, you just kind of have to make a decision, stick to your guns, and just do it. Number one, don't draw it out in the media too much. And as Riddell said, if you start winning games, none of this matters either way. Now, what I will say though, my philosophy on it, I think you have to take Caleb Williams due to his potential. I understand the idea of trading that pick so you could get Marvin Harrison and then improve your team further. But to me, you have DJ Moore there. And if you were to draft a receiver, later after you pick Caleb Williams, you could also start that offense to be really good. And I think the situation, as people said, isn't horrible for offense, especially dependent on this draft. So for me, I would go with Caleb. But I will say, there is, if the team really wants Justin, like they're very set on it, I'm not mad at them sticking with him because you have to do what the team wants. But I've seen this a lot in the NFL where, a quarterback will go top 5 and the team may not want him necessarily. They start winning and none of that matters. So I think as a GM, you just kind of have to gauge the situation for each individual player and see where it is. If you draft Caleb Williams, is it really going to screw up the locker room or is it not? And once you figure that out, then you could make a real decision based off of it because it is kind of a win-win or a lose-lose, as Mel said.
Go ahead, Cowboy.
So there was a quote came out about a few hours ago where Caleb Williams, there was like a whole paragraph saying that, if I get drafted by the Bears, I'll be excited. And then, all this other stuff. So he himself said that, he doesn't mind going to the Bears. Like when it comes to the Bears, to me, I feel like if you're a number 1 overall pick, there are a lot worse situations you could get drafted into. Like the Bears, is their offensive line great? No, it's not necessarily bad either. But I mean, you're getting drafted number 1 overall. Usually offensive lines for bad teams don't have the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. And then like he's going to have guys to throw to. DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, they could go get another receiver in this draft. So, and not only that, they picked up Shane Waldron from Seattle. He was with LA with Sean McVay, and then he really helped out with Geno Smith's development over there. So I think that there's a lot of things in place over in Chicago that would excite me if I'm a number 1 overall pick. And like, look, if Caleb Williams is who we think he is, why is it crazy to think that they can't get a wild card spot next year, right? Like if he's CJ Stroud his rookie season, like what CJ Stroud was, like no doubt about it, that team can make the playoffs. Their defense improved big time down the stretch when Eberflus took over the play calling. So that's as good of a situation as you're going to get if you're, getting picked number 1 overall. So, I mean, I could definitely see why Caleb, came out earlier and said that he'd be excited to play there.
Well, I honestly, to be real with you, I think they're going to draft Caleb Williams. I think that is probably what you're going to have to do. This feels like a Zion, Victor Wembanyama type of thing. Like you don't really have a choice. This kid is the one. However, if I'm Ryan Poles, I'm going out my way to try to build around Justin Fields. I think if we're being realistic about the situation in Chicago, we've given a lot of grace for a guy like Trevor Lawrence in terms of his development as a quarterback when he's had a debacle of a start with his coach. He finally found some level of stability, and he's still going through his ups and downs with his development, and there's still question marks about what he's going to be. But the Jaguars are going to buy into him still. And when I look at Justin Fields, and this is why I say sometimes I think as football fans, dual threat quarterbacks specifically aren't really graded with the same level of patience, because Justin Fields has had one of the most irresponsibly handled coaching staffs and front offices in all of football. The mishandling of Justin Fields has been absolutely atrocious, and nobody talks about the disservice of the Bears. And now, not only the disservice of the Bears that they have done to him, but let's be real with you, Justin Fields has found ways to thrive through all of the madness. Through all of the madness. And if we're being frank, if he doesn't get hurt, fellas, they might potentially be a playoff team this year. Let's not forget, the only reason they have the number 1 pick in the draft is due to the fact that the Panthers were horrible. And so they wouldn't even be in this situation. And so if I'm Ryan Poles, I would go out my way to get the O-lineman, go get Marvin Harrison Jr., trade down, I would take for ransom. If the Commanders want this number 1 pick so bad, I want Jahan Dotson or Terry McLaurin. I'm going for it. I'm going to stockpile Justin Fields with as many weapons as I can. And if it doesn't work then, we have a stockpile of picks, assets, and we're already going to probably have a high pick. If there's a quarterback we like, or fellas, they have so much cap space, if there's a quarterback we want to buy, we can go do that next year with this ready-made roster. So I just feel like, for me, Ryan Poles don't got to overthink this, especially, and I'm going to go Bama with this one, especially if Justin Fields has captured the hearts and souls of Chicago. If I'm taking a page out of Bama's book. If them boys in that locker room is ready to run through the wall for Justin Fields, and the city is ready to run through a wall for Justin Fields, and I listen to a lot of different personalities on TikTok who cover Chicago sports, if the fan base and media believe in this kid, why can't Ryan Poles and the Bears organization believe in this kid? And if you don't have the faith, why did you bring him here in the first place? And there's no way with an objective lens, the guy overseeing the team looked at the facilities he put around this kid and said, I put him in the best opportunity to succeed. It's ridiculous. So that being said, they probably going to take Caleb, and I think he'll be great. But Justin Fields, I think, is going to have a hell of a run in Atlanta, and people are going to blink and feel like they just missed it, completely missed it. Bama, how you doing, bro?
Good, J-Rob. You feel me? Headache game, brethren.
Yes, sir, Ski.
You McNasties. You squeeze one out by your nasty little chinny chin chin.
Buddy got the bait jacket on, put that shit on.
Hey, I try to do it every now and then. That shit, I don't do too much. But
that boy got money.
Don't do too much.
Grill Master Jalen, I see you down there, Grill Master.
What's good, Bama?
Hold on. What is this? Hold on, we got an open field. Oh shit! I let an open affiliate out here in the big league.
I let Michael come with the big leagues. I let Mike pull up today. He been moving me a little bit.
We got my brother from another mother right here, though. My brother from another mother right here, Cowboy, the only Cowboy fan I can follow. See you. What's good, baby?
Yo, what up, Bama? How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Then we got Lonnie. You feel me?
Yo, I feel bad, man. I failed you. I was in a meeting yesterday, but I wanted to go at Trent yesterday for that bull that he was talking about with Percy Harvin. That was crazy.
Hot. That shit was hot, bro. I had to dip, bro. I couldn't get a word in, bro.
Yeah.
We can ain't gonna lie. Here's the main thing I gotta say about that. Yes, Chase was awesome. But what did you call Percy Harvin's quarterback? What did you call him?
No, fullback. He's Taysom Hill.
Fullback.
Thank you.
Percy Harvin is a better gadget player than Jamar Chase. Yes.
So I agree with the whole fullback comment.
He was a better football player.
He was a better football player.
Who was throwing Chase the ball? What?
He was a better football
He's a
player.
better gadget
Burrow,
player.
who I think you said had the second greatest quarterback season of all time. A quarterback. So
yeah,
imagine Percy, that dog that we all know, having Burrow, who had the second greatest quarterback season of all time, and not a fullback throwing him a ball. What numbers would he put up?
Percy Harvin is one of the greatest, but he's not better than Chase. He's a better gadget player.
All I'm saying, Trent, the reason why I say
Thomas is a better gadget player,
and it's in the conversation.
Look, the Anthony Thomas is a better gadget player than Jamar Chase. He's not better than him. He's a better gadget player.
Yeah.
I feel like it's disrespectful. You just call him Percy a gadget player because he was more than that.
Anthony Thomas and Tavon Austin.
If you think the Anthony Thomas is better than,
they are gadget players compared to Jamar Chase, but Percy Harvin is just that. Listen,
he was a god, bro.
Like I said, against South Carolina,
I just don't think chat understands.
Tebow was doing nothing.
Percy was insane, bro.
Urban Meyer literally.
Chase had the second greatest quarterback in college football history.
He said, "Hey, we can't do a fucking thing on offense. Put Percy at quarterback." He got mad and said, "He said."
Like I'm gonna keep saying over and like I'm gonna keep saying.
Tebow couldn't make half the throws Burrow could make.
Like I'm gonna keep saying, Tavon, DeAnthony, Percy, they are better gadget players than Jamar Chase. But we're talking about as a receiver, we know that's
Tavon Austin was a better college football player than Jamar Chase.
And I heavily disagree. No,
I just want to say Percy Harvin,
college football player. I'm not saying wide receiver. I'm saying college football player.
He's a better gadget player.
Percy was a better player in college.
I disagree. I don't agree with that.
You give him Joe Burrow, and his numbers are going to look insane.
J-Rob, them boys crashed out about Megatron. It is nothing that y'all can say to convince me that Megatron was the best college receiver of all time. Now, if you're going based off prospect, I'll give you that. But when y'all said Megatron was the best college receiver of all time and he only had 1,200 yards receiving,
nobody says the greatest the greatest college receiver of all time.
Y'all had him top
the greatest college receiver of all time is Randy Moss.
Receiver of all time.
The greatest college receiver of all time is Randy Moss. When Calvin Johnson
y'all had him too. Y'all had Megatron
gets ranked so highly. Calvin Johnson gets ranked high because him as a player. Calvin Johnson as a wide receiver is better than 98% of college receivers that ever played a game. His numbers
a receiver prospect. He was a better receiver prospect, but it is receivers in college football that had 1,996 receiving yards along with 20.
So do you think Braylon Edwards was better than Calvin Johnson in college?
You're not going to tell me that Calvin Johnson was a better college receiver than that dude.
Braylon Edwards in college was better than Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
And you being a stat watcher. You're being a
that's not stat watching.
If you think Braylon Edwards is better, okay. Do you think
Mike Percy Harvin isn't as good as Jamar Chase is stat?
Hold on. Let's
I think Michael Crabtree was better.
Let them finish. We gotta move on. Let them finish because we gotta move on.
Do you think Mike Williams from USC is better than Calvin Johnson in college because he had better numbers?
Mike Williams, I was just about
to try. All right, move on.
Mike Williams and Dwayne Jarrett.
Move on.
Mike Williams and
Dwayne Jarrett was better. I just want to end this with saying Percy Harvin was so damn good on the field. They tried to kill that man. They really tried to kill that man, bro. He was so good.
Go ahead, Cowboy.
All my folks in here that's 28 and older, bro. Mike Williams and Dwayne Jarrett was a scary dynamic duo on college.
They were.
Just to sit there and just be like, "Oh yeah, you think this dude better than like, bro?" It was a point where,
they were nice.
Yeah,
so they weren't better than Calvin. That's the point.
But they NFL careers did not end up like Calvin. So the hindsight of it, of course, the hindsight of it would be Megatron is better than these guys. But if we going from, that's what I was arguing with you boys about when y'all was like Reggie Ball wasn't an impact player on that team. It was just all Calvin Johnson.
You said Reggie Ball was the best player. Don't get that twisted.
Yeah. Reggie Ball was the best player. He's the quarterback. He was the general.
Because he played quarterback don't mean he was the best player on the field. Everybody named Mama knows. I can ask my dad right now, who way older than all of us. Everybody named Mama know Calvin Johnson's the best player on Georgia Tech, and it's not close.
What about that game-winning drive where he dialed up number 12 the whole drive and not Calvin Johnson?
You got to bring up one game-winning drive to try to say he's the best player on the field.
But what I'm saying is, bro, it's the quarterback. It doesn't always have to go through Calvin Johnson based off the offense they ran. They ran a pro offense, and they had 3 receivers 6'4" and taller, bro. It wasn't really just Megatron.
Yes, they was Megatron. They were
the best. Had 1,200 yards.
Okay, Georgia Tech's offense wasn't Nigga, how many pass yards do you think Reggie Ball threw for?
Bro, they ran the pro offense. Don't say they ran.
How many pass yards do you think he threw for? He played through for 2 bands.
Probably. All right. We gonna continue that conversation.
On Percy's name.
You just need to put some respect on Percy's name. Y'all just stop blazing. And the glaze y'all giving this man chasing college is a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. But go ahead. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Go ahead, Cowboy.
There was a list of the top 10 college quarterbacks. I want to read it real quick. Baker Mayfield 1, Cam Newton 2, Vince Young 3, Tim Tebow 4, Burrow 5, Watson 6, Murray 7, Jackson 8, 9, Mariota 10, Robert Griffin III.
Did you say Vince Young 3?
Was that Vince?
Yeah, no, that list is sick. And honestly, they just could not. They
Baker's one is racist. You can't tell me.
They couldn't. They didn't have the courage and the conviction to put. Yeah, they just didn't have the
Cam
courage
number
and
one.
conviction.
I mean, Joe Burrow's number 5?
They don't want to do that.
They couldn't. They just didn't have the courage to do that.
The biggest W on that list is Vince Young at 3, honestly.
Yeah,
Vince Young. I just want to say, Vince Young, what he did against that USC team, people forget that USC team. No, that USC team, people are ready to call them the greatest college team of all time.
Yeah,
that's what
100%.
The greatest dynasty, and he beat them. Is crazy.
But let me ask y'all about this because we're almost in that NFL combine. We're in that time of the year: combine, draft, pro days. It's about to be March, so that's that time of the year. So with that being said, what do y'all think that? We're in this era where like all the top quarterbacks now, they just really not throwing at the combine. They like, it's quiet. So Jaden, Drake, and Caleb all decide they're not throwing at the combine. Which do y'all think that is a good or a bad thing? And what quarterback do you believe is going to turn the most heads that is throwing at the combine? Trent, we can start with you. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Bama. Go ahead, Bama.
I want to lead this by saying because I'm always the old head, so I want to lead it with this. I feel like that combine shit, I really fuck with it on the sense of them boys because it's not really a proper simulation of game time, and they just put the pressure on you. So that's the only thing they simulating is the pressure that you go experience. But everything else is not really like transferable to the field besides what the little L drill 5-10-5. Like, I want to see that your first 10 yards to your 40. Like, I feel those like the first transferable things, but like them just such a small drill, and you do those at pro day anyway.
Right.
So the reason why I like them doing it at pro day because now I'm a lot more comfortable, right? You see what I'm saying? If we just go throwing t-shirts and shorts anyway, I might as well be comfortable when I do it, right?
Right.
We have seen it. Pro days. Johnny Manziel won his pro day coming in the shoulder pass. He probably wouldn't have got drafted. You heard Jerry Jones talk about, I thought about drafting, man. You see what I'm saying, though? They get it from them pro days. Zach Wilson became the second overall pick from rolling to the left and flicking it back right and catfish. Put the whole nation in getting juicy.
Did it catfish J-Rob?
That boy lifted up and put his Sharon gun on.
Everybody was pissed.
Everybody said that's the number 2 draft pick right there, all off a pro day at the crib. You know what I mean? The times are faster. Usually the reps are higher because kids is just more comfortable. So why put yourself through all that additive stress when really, say if you go out there and run a 4.7, that's not really your time. You was just nervous. That's going to drop you. You lose $10-20 million all off a simple mistake when really that's not really who you are. I'm just nervous. The moment was about to get to me. So put it all in your favor, man, because like I said, we talk about this all the time with Brock Purdy. These teams are going to use whatever leverage they have against you. Whenever the time comes, they're going to use it against you. So as young kids, use all the leverage you have against them. If you don't have to, if you are good enough to where you don't have to go to a pro day, don't do it.
Right.
So, I mean, not a pro day, but the NFL combine won't do it.
You don't have nothing to prove.
Yeah, look. Kyle Hamilton dropped out the top 5 all because of a 4. And you see how good Kyle Hamilton is.
Yeah, facts. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, brother. He is special. Special.
I was going to say,
it took 2 years for him to be the best safety in football. 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, bro, like, just for the top guys, honestly, like the combine is basically for guys that honestly now that need it. Like back in the day, like even if you was a top guy, everybody used to participate in the combine. I remember like when Calvin Johnson, bro, borrowed a combine shoes, ran a 4.38 and then called it off. Like all the top guys used to be in the combine, but now it's like, for what? My worth. Like Drake May's interviews. I don't even think they say Marvin Harrison might not even attend the combine, or he's only going there for interviews. Like I just think that now the combine, like this shit is set for the players that really need it and really help rise their stock, or people that got a lot of questions for. And like to answer your question, probably the biggest riser, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like we got to see what JJ do, and honestly, the one who's gonna probably turn the heads probably Spencer Rattler, and then probably be Spencer Rattler because he's gonna
rattlesnake,
and then probably the most anticipated thing I'm kind of waiting for is I got to see what's if they Michael Penix medicals Gucci. I got to see it because that can really hurt his stock.
Make or break it for real. Honestly,
yeah, that's dead ass. That's probably the most important thing. He can throw all that shit, but if the medical's not right, yeah, bro, that shit not it, bro.
Yeah, Michael Penix is definitely big for me
before y'all go, I want to say this too. If the NFL really have a problem about them boys waiting the pro day, how about this NFL? Invite some of them HBCU ball players to them NFL combines and give them boys an opportunity to go out there and show what they can do, because y'all only pull one or two of them boys a year up to go to the NFL combine anyway. So now with these bigger players like Caleb, Drake May, all these guys, Maserati Marv sitting out, invite some of them HBCU boys up there. Get them the opportunity to be seen, whether they get drafted in the NFL, but they get the opportunity to be seen by the USFL, XFL, Canadian football, all of these leagues, bro. So if you really need players to show up and compete, bring some of them boys up. That I feel like that would be a good switch off, since Caleb and all them boys want to do the pro days. More so let that NFL combine be for them HBCU players and some of them players that really need them combines to get them some type of traction.
Man, Bam, you know they're not going to do that.
So the combine to me is the most overrated thing in football. I think the NFL done a masterful job of trying to act like it was important. At a time, I think it was. But now I'll tell you, the 40-yard dash, I think it's great when guys have times like a 4.29 or a 4.31, people get excited. But we see guys like John Ross mentioned in the chat where we understand that speed is not necessarily football speed. Running with pads and running in your shorts in that environment versus in games is two different things. So I don't even put that much on the 40-yard dash. In terms of the bench press thing, these dudes are bouncing off their chest, whatever. To me, that does not indicate how strong you are on the offensive line or how you're able to push off somebody. So I think that's just another kind of metric that's not that useful. I think the one drill, when the wide receivers, they'll be catch, drop it, turn around, catch, drop it, whatever you call that drill. That's cool. It's cool to see. But again, there's just so much film now and so much film analysis that goes on throughout a player's career. There's nothing you're going to learn at the combine about someone that you don't already know in terms of play on the field. I think the Wonderlic test, do they do that at the combine? Do they do that at the combine?
What?
That the Wonderlic test, or the test that they do like on paper?
Yeah.
See, that I think maybe that's something that they don't know, because I don't think they do that beforehand. That's something I think that teams can maybe get some information on player. But we understand what all these quarterbacks do as a player, as a thrower. We understand most of these wide receivers, measurables and all that. There's nothing they're going to learn about these players other than the Wonderlic test that they don't already know from these combine.
Last thing I say though, I forgot to say this. So I said this on my show. I'm not gonna hold you. If Keon Coleman even sniffs around like a low 4.4, he may get like a 4.39, 4.38. Me personally, I think he's gonna go top 10.
He already going to jump. He already going to jump.
Because no, I'm not gonna lie. The narrative of Keon Coleman, a lot of people don't like his film, but I feel like he was severely utilized because you watch Florida State, all they had him and Johnny Wilson do is running curls and comebacks. That's literally all they had to do. Yeah. So if he runs great routes and he runs a good ass 40, he might be the second receiver off the board. I'm not saying he should, but he could potentially be this, like, bro, 6'4", 220 running the 4.3, and
the size is undeniable.
He's not like DK stiff because DK's 3-cone drill was terrible. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. So if he runs like a 4.29, a 4.4, and his 3-cone drill is really good, shit.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it when it comes to Keon. For me, I mean, for the conversation, like, yes, film is always better, obviously, when you really watch how they play, when they watch how they play against competition. But like some people have said, we do recognize that these combines and these pro days can definitely rise your stock, which is what's going to matter for these people who are not in the conversations. Not the people who are set, the people who know where they're going to go, basically, like Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, they don't gain anything from it. They gain absolutely nothing. So the people that it does matter are the people that they kind of know their names. They see some of their tape. They're kind of 50-50 on it. And the the testing and what they do with their athleticism and all that stuff can really kind of put a stamp on, okay, now I'm a believer. I mean, we saw that with Anthony Richardson. That dude went huge because he was an absolute beast in the combine. Yeah. And for me, Michael Penix is one, of course, because I still like what I've seen from Michael Penix. I think he's an amazing thrower of the football. I think he has great touch. Obviously, he has a great deep ball. And the medicals are going to be very important. And I do want to see that 40. I actually do, because if he's like decently fast, like he doesn't have to be, of course, someone like a Drake May or anything, of course. But if he's not as slow as someone like a Jared Goff, then I'll be happy. I'll be happy for Michael Penix. And make him not a complete liability in the
Jared Goff ran 4.6.
Yeah, that's I want to be faster.
Bro, how often do you run
Jared Goff right now in the NFL?
Do y'all not know like what speed is, bro?
Like, I'm just saying, how often do you run in a straight line in the NFL?
No.
When do you ever run in a straight line?
What you're saying, Bama, is fine, but when we talk about in the NFL right now, there's a lot of issue with Jared Goff because when they put pressure on him, he struggles getting handling that pressure and escaping that pressure. I'm just hoping Michael Penix is better.
Speed, though. That's his lateral movement.
Be better
that's not speed, though. That's not speed.
That's not speed. That's lateral movement.
I know. Straight line speed is not that. Straight line speed correlates to the NFL game is not that much. There's plenty of guys who could be way faster, cutting, turning, and doing all that. When do you ever really run straight line? In one go route, like maybe a couple of plays, maybe 2 plays in the game, you're in a go route. You never run in a straight line in an NFL game ever.
Of course. I mean, yes, I understand.
Romo ran like a 5 flat, but trying to get him in the pocket was next to impossible.
No, that's 100%. Of course, there's more to it. But when it comes to perception, it really helps your case when they think, oh, yeah, he's pretty fast just in general. So the perception of Michael Penix is he's going to be a cone in the pocket. If you can slightly change that perception with the 40 and with other drills, that'll be huge for him. And the other guy I do want to talk about real quick is Bo Milton, because he is like a athletic beast from what I've seen as a quarterback. He's huge. Did I say
he got the best arm talent in the draft?
Oh, that's Josh Allen. Joe Milton has Josh Allen. If you like Josh Allen, you better like Joe Milton.
I have to see it translate, but if we're talking about the athletic freak in the quarterback position right now, he could be a huge guy who could rise his stock extremely, and he could be someone like, okay, all right.
The problem with Joe Milton.
I'm just saying he could rise his stock. 100% rise his stock.
Okay.
Can he not?
Trent, he threw the ball 92 yards.
He's terrible. The
problem with Joe Milton, though, is that he also bombed the Senior Bowl.
This is where the combine is not going to leap somebody. He is a 7th round pick, like at best. Like he's terrible. Like,
so if he goes crazy in the combine and
Josh Allen was way
2 rounds,
he had less talent though.
He just has a strong arm. That none of that shit applies to the film. And I know y'all watched the Senior Bowl.
About to say he was the worst player in the Senior Bowl. He had the worst performance in the Senior Bowl.
And to be honest with you,
I hope he gets better, but like I can't.
They love their quarterback athletic freaks. That's the new NFL nowadays.
Yeah,
that athletic quarterback
freak. You know what they want. You know what this?
Maybe he could play tight end.
Yeah, I'll say he a Jordan Reed type of you.
Y'all need to save all of these comments right here for March 1st. All right.
And hey, to be honest
right now, we only got 2 more days left in Black History Month, and y'all already putting this quarterback crazy comments.
Bro, I'm just saying we're talking about athletic ability, but I don't think he listen, I'm supporting a black quarterback always, but listen, you got to be honest about what Joe Milton is. Like, he's not that great. He's not.
And to be honest with you,
he's not that great. He's not that great.
If he goes crazy in the combine, we're gonna look at that.
Go ahead, Cal.
He's gonna be lined up like this, coming off that edge.
He could play D end. He could play D linebacker too, though. I ain't going to
linebacker.
Yo, listen. Think about like this. His eyes as a quarterback, you're gonna understand. Like, listen, I'm not saying that he can't play in the NFL, but I just don't see the quarterback. He's going to have to surprise me. But Cowboy, you want to say something?
Yeah, no. When it comes to Joe Milton, I think there's a difference between being able to throw the football well and being a quarterback. And I think that Joe Milton is a far reach from being a good quarterback. I think there's a difference between the two. And then, like, when it comes to the combine, right? The main reason why this is around still, because let's be honest here. Organizations are telling their coaches to stay back. Like, they're like, nah, you don't need to come to the combine. You're good. They're bringing analytic department guys instead of those coaches now. You know, like the combine is like for the MLB, the winter meetings. That's where all the teams get together and, you know, talk about potential trades and get information on certain things. You know, that's like, to me, seems like that's a big reason as to why the combine's still around, because like the Lions said it the best. The front office from the Lions said it the best. Combine's great and all, but we're building our board based off the tape that we watch. And let's keep it real here. You know, 2023 draft, Lions probably had the best draft out of everybody, just looking at, you know, outside of the Texans in when it comes to year one production. And then, you know, to cap this off, I think that, you know, I'm with Trent with this one. I think JJ McCarthy, and it hurts me because he's a Michigan guy, but you know, I think JJ McCarthy is gonna raise his stock big time. You know, I really do.
We'll see with JJ.
Because I think he's going to test very well in a lot of aspects.
With Spencer Rattler, though, a lot of people forget that he was like a few years ago, he was projected to go number 1 before like Caleb went on the scene and he played bad in Oklahoma. So I feel like if all these top quarterbacks are going to be sitting out and he does perform well with the interviews and stuff like that, because there were concerns about like his maturity and things like that. But if he can like shore all that up and he performs well during the combine, then he's going to be the main person everyone's going to be talking about. So I feel like he could jump maybe to QB4. Well, he's already QB4 to me, but he can make some noise, especially if people don't like some of the things that Jaden Daniels does, like in terms of like his weight and stuff like that. And like I like Jaden Daniels, but like I said, like when I'm nitpicking, like I don't like how high he throws the ball sometimes, because sometimes you see receivers have to like go out and overreach for it. And if Spencer Rattler has like good ball placement and stuff like that, someone might try to take a flyer on him. So I definitely think he's
at 3.
Wait, who?
I don't know if Rattler's going to jump to Jaden Daniels.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
I don't think he's better than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think people are going to take that risk.
So a team could talk themselves out of Jaden because of his weight and things like that.
Dare to be different. I like it. You know,
I
think Jaden is better. If my Patriots don't take him, I'm probably gonna get a Chiefs jersey and be chilling with Riddell. But
wow,
I could definitely see it themselves like, hey,
not on BS too.
Like this boy's too skinny. This boy doesn't have a strong enough arm. But here's this unit in Rattler who's raw, stronger, bigger, faster. Not faster, but stronger, bigger arm.
I'm about to say the legs is not even close, bro. The legs are not even close.
Yeah, legs aren't close. I'm just saying, you can see like he's more prototypical in terms of like what teams are looking for.
Can I ask a question to everybody?
Go ahead.
Do you guys mind ranking like the top, just you know, rapid fire top 5 quarterbacks in this draft?
For me, I will go Caleb. Oh, you can go answer. Go ahead, Michael.
I'll go Caleb, Drake May, then I'll go Jaden Daniels, then I'll go. It's in between Penix and Rattler, but I'll say Rattler. 5 Penix and then 6 Nix.
I'll probably go Caleb. I will go Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May in order. Actually, no, I'm capping. I'm going Caleb Williams. The thing with Drake May and Jaden is kind of blows mine is both of them, I believe, have like all pro level talent. Because both of the things that they do great at the college level, if they translate to the NFL, both of them could really be different in the NFL. Like they both have that level of upside. I'm gonna just, because I think Jaden Daniels' dual threat ability is a little bit higher, and I think just, bro, he looked like, you know, the mouse in a cartoon. Like he looked like Tom running from who's the mouse? Jerry. Yeah, he looked like Jerry running away from Tom. Like that's how he looked like when he run. Like it's insane to me. So I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels because of his dual threat at 2. Drake May at 3, but it is close. It could go either way, coin flip. After that, I'm gonna say Michael Penix, and then I'm gonna say Spencer Rattler at 5, and then on the outside looking in, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy.
I'll probably say mine, Caleb, Drake, JD. See, it's like after that, bro.
The 4 spot is just 4 and 5 spot is just so crazy.
It could go anywhere. Whatever your preference.
I'll probably lean towards like a JJ than Spence for real, Spencer Rattler.
I would go Caleb 1. I'll go Drake 2. Jaden Daniels, I'll go 3. I do think Jaden Daniels, although he's very explosive, very shifty, he's not as like explosive or shifty as like a Lamar Jackson or even from what I've seen from like a Kyler Murray. And I do think he needs to fit in the right system for him to really be successful. So I'm very curious to see.
You don't think he's is as explosive a runner as Kyler Murray?
He's not Lamar, but he's Kyler for sure.
I can understand Lamar. Lamar's the best leg in the history of the game, so I'll give you Lamar. But to a Kyler Murray level,
as a
did
runner,
you really watch Jaden Daniels play ball this year?
I ain't like Kyler has these to get the toe in that though. I ain't gonna lie.
He did, but I'm just saying he was.
Let me explain. Yeah. When it comes down to running the ball, obviously, when you pass the line of scrimmage, I'd probably say Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray. But when it comes to making a play, like Kyler Murray does, not only in the pocket but outside the pocket and making a play with his arm and his legs, I would give it to Kyler Murray for sure.
Right.
With that said, Jaden Daniels 3, Michael Penix 4. I'm still very high on Penix, and right system, I think he can be very successful in the NFL. And 5th, Spencer Rattler. He has all the tools. So he just got to put it together.
I go Caleb, Drake, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, then Penix. Look, here's the thing. Like, if you're asking me right now who's the better quarterback, I would say Penix is a better quarterback, and I think that probably even Spencer Rattler is a better quarterback right now. But like, if JJ McCarthy goes to like Denver and is with Sean Payton, I think he could develop into a really good player.
Do you think he should start from day one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, me personally.
No. 1 year, then he'd be Gucci.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna switch JJ and Knicks, so I'll have JJ at 6.
So everyone seems to have similar guys. Everyone seems to have like the same 5 guys. I just want to give a quick shout out though to a guy I think might be better than the 4 and 5. Michael Pratt at Tulane. He showed me something. He worked under 4 different offensive coordinators in his situation.
Michael Pratt is nice. He is.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little overlooked. His situation was probably the worst out of any of these quarterbacks in terms of team that he had to play with and all those coaches. I think he's a guy probably get drafted, put him as a backup quarterback, but I think he can be a quality starter and give you a decade.
I just don't believe in his arm.
The arm talent. I mean, I guess his arm talent isn't as strong as obviously like the Drake Mays of the world, the Caleb Williams. But I like his decision making. And one thing with him, his teammates love him. Like his teammates, a great leader. He's a guy that his teammates really want to play for. And I think something like that definitely matters. But give me him. Maybe I'll put him at the 5 spot. He can be a bit of a sneaky play over there.
Okay,
so me.
And then tell him your receiver rankings. Tell him who you got as wide receiver 1.
All right, I got y'all after this. I got you after this, Cowboy. So for the quarterbacks, I ain't gonna put them in no order because me myself personally, it's really dependent on all where they fall. And I'm not just finna go off on a limb how y'all do it, right, bro. Because I feel like y'all setting that kid up for failure. Because it's a few situations he can fall into that can fuck his career up, and I don't know. So no order, of course. You got Caleb, Drake, May. Me myself personally, one guy in there that's people go sleep on that's gonna have like that Brock Purdy type of value. Sam Hartman, don't sleep on him. Especially where you go get them 4 to 6 rounds, 4 to 6. That's gonna be a solid quarterback that could come in and run your offense. Not DJ. I'm looking at that DJ Ungulate. Fuck no, but Spencer Rattler. I like Spencer, bro. Like I like him a lot. A lot of his shit is between the ears. Him like trying to lower his arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, him having to go to South Carolina, he got a little taste of humble pie. Right. I like Spencer Rattler. Man, I'm sorry, bro. I got to go with Joe Milton, bro. I got to go with Joe Milton because of the physicals. Y'all love all these. This is my turn. This is my turn to take a big, strong man. Everybody love big, strong men.
Physical man.
I can't like the big, strong man I like, but y'all can like the big, strong men y'all like. That's crazy.
Please say pause. Please say pause.
No pause.
Okay, so Bama, you mean to tell me you mean to tell me you like the worst quarterback out this draft class?
And oh yeah, another
not even get drafted.
Hold on.
Way to be different, man.
You try but that's too different, bro. Like,
no. I ain't trying to be different, but I fought with Jordan Travis too, though. I ain't trying to be different, bro, but I can't ignore somebody throwing the ball 90 yards, bro. When y'all sit and gag Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, the reason why they be better than these people.
But they can do it with accuracy. They can do it with accuracy.
You know why? You know why we give them
accuracy,
praise?
Lonnie?
Bama, you know why we give them praise? Because when they throw the deep ball, at least the receiver can catch it, not throwing it to the stands. Not throwing it to the other ops. Not throwing it to the ops. Like, come like that. Like, you being too different, bro. Like,
you being too different.
I just like Joe Milton physicals. Anthony Richardson only showed you one game. Josh Allen really came out of nowhere. He was playing him.
Y'all comparing it to Anthony Richardson now,
bro.
Because he got mad at how much I praised Anthony Richardson going into the season.
It was tough.
Wait, Jalen, did he not go top 5 still? I said he was still going to go top 5. He still went top 5. I said he
which was nasty work, bro.
No, it wasn't nasty work.
I was nasty when he.
But that combine helped him a lot, though.
He had like 53%.
Hey, Bama, you know what? You know why it wasn't? Oh, so now it's nasty. But that same combine that you was just talking about that these players don't need. He went to the combine, ran a 4.4,
because he needed
it. but you said that don't make you. But you also said it won't make you jump up dramatically. He went number 5.
Wait, let me say something too. About
crazy. Combine went crazy for AR. 100%.
Flip this about Anthony Richardson right now. If the Colts draft well, have a good offseason, the way that we talk about Kirk Cousins, that tier, A-Rich gonna be in that tier by the end of next season. If that team
he ain't lying though. He's not lying. He's not lying. AR is gonna have. Listen, AR's physical tools. If he plays well, his physical tools so undeniable, bro. Like it's gonna be the same thing with Justin Herbert year 1 when he first came out. The numbers and stuff, the talent going to just ooze off the screen where you can't deny that this is a top. He could easily be top 10 in one season, bro. Easily be top.
I'm going top 12.
He could be top. Bro, this could. I know y'all don't want to hear this shit too early. This could be Cam Newton with the Josh Allen arm. I'm trying to tell you.
Cam Newton with a Josh Allen arm is crazy.
No, if I told you Cam Newton with the Josh Allen arm, what are you gonna say, bro? What are you gonna say?
J-Rob, with Shane Steichen, bro. He's a genius, bro.
He's a genius.
J-Rob, mind you, he has a top 5 running back when healthy coming back. They're gonna draft well.
MVP dark horse, if you ask me.
And he has
talk about it.
The same way how Jalen Hurts had that one big year, AR can have that same year on the Colts, bro.
Facts, bro.
What I'm saying,
you would need the weapons to really take advantage of his arm. AJ Brown was a deep threat, of course.
Shout out to Josh Downs, Players Choice alumni, man.
Hey, don't let Rome go to Indianapolis. Don't let him go. Don't let Rome.
They don't have high enough. I don't think they have high enough.
Wait, so
I'm just saying.
So Cowboy, you wanted everybody's 5 at wide receiver, right?
Yeah. So I'll go back.
Yeah, Bama. No, I want to hear Bama's 5 in particular.
He's gonna say some bullshit.
You want to say Brandon Rice?
He's biased. He's biased.
I'm not biased.
All right, go ahead.
No order,
please.
Javon Baker. Let's get that out the way right there. We're getting him out the way right there.
Oh, Javon Baker.
Ladies and gentlemen, good, sweet.
At 1?
Mother. I say no. Again,
no order.
I'll have selective hearing, just like my girl. It's okay. I said no order. All right. No order. Don't do me like this. Javon Baker, Maserati Marv, Keon.
Where art thou, Romeo?
Yeah, there's 2 obvious names.
I thought there's 2 obvious wide receivers.
He said Brandon Rice on the league neighbor, so he's not gonna say
Rome.
And say
Malik. Say the last name. Say the last name.
Uh-oh.
Just to piss Trent off.
Brandon Rice.
Right.
Say it.
Troy Franklin.
Hell no.
Just say it, bro.
Say it, bro.
I'm going next. I'm going next. I got one. I got
Luke McCaffrey.
Bruh.
Nah, I got y'all. I got y'all with the real.
He nice though. He nice.
This man is bugging. Give me Maserati Marv because he's the one, not the 2 or the 3. He's the one. Then number 2, give me Rome, future All Pro. You know he's a real demon. T. Higgins 2.0. Let me think. Who else? Let me get Keon Coleman, highest upside of I think all the wide receivers because 6'4", 220. I mean, if he could, like Trent, I think Trent hit on the nose. Boy run a 4.4, 4.3. He might go top 6. He might go right after Marv. He might skip over Rome because you couldn't let those physicals. That would be insane. At 4. Really, by default, they really want me to fall in love. I don't really see it the same way they do. But I'll give Malik Neighbors the benefit of the doubt. But honestly, at number 5, and honestly, this is really just because of his situation. He kind of fell off. If he would have went the same way, had a good team, good situation around him, my dog would have been one of the top receivers. So let me get my dog, Skull Buffs, Xavier Weaver, as my number 5 receiver going into this draft because you know we coming next year. Xavier Weaver was on Biletnikoff watch until that O-line decided to sell him and Shador the rest of the way. He would have been on Biletnikoff watch. So give me Xavier Weaver.
I think the top 3, me personally, is Locke. Of course, Marv. I'm gonna go Malik. That's baby CeeDee Lamb. And then number 3, I mean, y'all go Rome. That's damn near
Malik Neighbors is baby CeeDee Lamb.
Yes, he's CeeDee Lamb.
He's nice.
He's literally CeeDee Lamb. Literally, he's literally CeeDee. Then I'm gonna go Ron. You can flip.
I just want you to know when I make my comparisons from now on, I don't want to hear no.
You call Keon Coleman Jamar Chase. Are you mad at me? I called him CD. You call Keon Coleman Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna go. So 1 Marv, of course, 2 Malik, 3 Rome, but you can switch them to. I don't care about that. I don't care. 4 Keon, and 5. That 5 spot it's kind of like with the quarterbacks at the end. It's like that 5 spot is like you can go with a lot of people. I'll probably say Troy Franklin, even though I'm not as high on him like I used to be, because he's like it's disrespectful when I say this, but he's like another version of MVS with better hands.
Okay,
I agree.
Actually, can I scratch off Xavier Weaver because you know what? I'm tripping. Know who's my real number 5? Give me A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell is my number 5. Give me A.D. Mitchell. Nice.
His body.
A.D. Mitchell is OD slept on.
Really good route runner. I'll be honest.
And another 6'4" wide receiver who could really control the shit out of his body, bro. Go ahead, Riddell.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'll go next. Obviously, Marv number 1. We already know who he is. My number 2, just like Trent, Malik Neighbors, slot demon. He's gonna go crazy, especially if he goes to the right team, bro. Rome number 3. Shout out Rome, of course. Number 4, Keon. Like he's an athletic freak. He has a lot of upside. I mean, pretty obvious top 4 as of right now. My number 5, I'm gonna go Brian Thomas Jr. I really like Brian Thomas. I think he can come out in the NFL, especially he's also another big guy. I think he's also 6'4".
Yeah, he's 6'4". He's tall. He's tall as well.
Yeah, great vertical. Those jump balls, he's going to be able to dominate with. He has great spatial awareness. So he's a person that can really be a huge threat from either sides when it comes to a wideout. So, yeah, that's my number 5.
I got MHJ at 1, of course. I got Romeo at 2. Neighbors at 3. Keon, of course, at 4, and then I also got Brian Thomas at 5. I think if he goes to like the Bills or the Chiefs, it's gonna get nasty.
Does he have higher upside than Neighbors, in your opinion?
See, I don't see what Trent.
Keon?
No, Brian Thomas has more upside than Malik.
Like I said, I need to watch more film with Trent on Neighbors, but it's like I just feel like
Yo, don't watch film with his biased eyes, bro. He's when Trent likes somebody, bro, he can't.
But you know what's crazy? Every time
bro.
I show Riddell and Lonnie film, I don't even say nothing. I just let them watch and see what they feel like. I'm not early.
I'm backing up my boy Trent with that one.
Like, when early is a person when you don't like, yeah, he's gonna be biased.
No.
Yo, he was cooking JJ McCarthy.
Early while watching JJ McCarthy film was
Malik
hilarious.
Neighbors is a future All-Pro. Like all this
Malik Neighbors is better at like more things, but Brian Thomas could have a better season because of.
No, I feel like with Brian Thomas, I feel like he's gonna go later in the first round, so I feel like he's gonna get a much better quarterback, and I feel like he can have a much better career. And I feel like what he does well can translate better to the NFL than what I saw.
I'm telling you. Like if you like Keon Coleman, his upside, you cannot tell me you don't see Brian Thomas.
Exactly.
The same.
Right.
What about Johnny? What about Johnny?
Yeah, bro. I think, bro.
I don't think it's the same.
I think the reason why I look at MSJ, and Rome, the reason why I don't really I don't talk about upside with those two because they already have everything, height, speed, they are already. To me,
Neighbors might be better. But Brian Thomas can have a much better career.
The fact that a lot of y'all and a lot of people think that just Rome clears Malik is idiocy to me. Like he doesn't clear. He does not. They're in the same tier.
They're in the same tier.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, bro. I actually think Rome. I think Rome is closer to MHJ. And I think Neighbors, there's a clear difference between MHJ.
Bro, we gotta have team Neighbors, team Rome.
We're talking about in the league standpoint.
I'm team Rome. I'm sorry. I'm team Rome.
On the outside, Demon in the slot, phenomenal.
Yo, you literally told me. You literally told us that Rome. You literally told us that Michael Penix was a jump ball merchant. So who was bailing him out all year?
Rome, but here's the thing. I'm not saying. But here's the thing. I'm not saying
situation, bro.
You're good now.
You said that Rome and MJ are the only ones that are all pro potential. I disagree. I think Malik is in that tier, and that's the thing. I think that he gets the disrespect.
Yo, bro, I think Rome and MJ could go for a K a piece year one. No doubt.
Malik.
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't want to bet. I don't want to bet because you're already gonna owe me some bread once if Michael Penix goes first round. So just chill.
Yo, can I?
Trent, you made that bet?
Okay.
Yo, can I?
One, I got Marv.
Trent.
Two, I got Rome, but I don't think it's a clear. But I'm Elite 3. I got Rome 2 for sure. And then four I think is Keon for me. And then 5, I would have either AD, BT, one of those two probably. But I want to name one name that I don't know if I put him top 5, but I think it's in the conversation for 10. Polk. I want the Cowboys to draft Polk.
Jalen Polk.
That's what I want.
Can we talk about a guy who I think could be the third best wide receiver here? No one said it. Johnny Wilson is the truth.
His
upside is crazy, but Johnny Wilson has to move to tight end in NFL.
Okay, that's the thing. Some people think got to move to tight end
with mid hands. How does that work?
And that's the only thing too. His hands are not great.
I see people say that
240.
240, but still,
I'll say this right now.
All them big receivers got iffy hands, though.
No.
That's all them big receivers got iffy hands.
You remember JJ Arcega-Whiteside? He was supposed to be a demon. 6'6".
I'll tell you this right now. I'll put it like this. If he moves to tight end, he has top 5 tight end potential lock. Like
facts. He has to play tight end.
Because realistically, Johnny Wilson is 6'7", but he moves like he's 6'3". Like he can move. But as a wide receiver,
hey, wrap this up, Trent. Finish your comics. I want y'all to put your GM hat on because I'm gonna ask you.
You don't mind if I get my 5 in after his?
Go ahead.
I got. It's kind of similar. Harrison, Neighbors, Rome, Keon, and then Brian Thomas. One thing I want to put out there, Trent, real quick. Who's your Malik Neighbors comp? You said
CD.
Hey, who played alongside Malik Neighbors in college?
Brian Thomas.
Hey, you think that would work in the NFL? Brian Thomas playing across.
Oh, Brian Thomas playing with CD. Oh yeah, that's y'all need to get him because Brandon Cooks is starting to fall off because he's getting old.
We need a receiver. I'm on the same page, Cowboy.
Junior at 24, and hey, we go in the divisional round this year, baby.
We might lose by touchdown in the divisional if we get.
Yo, y'all got me crying. It's okay. It could be worse. Y'all could be like the 49ers, make it all the way there to choke again.
Could be worse. Right.
The heartache is worse.
The heartache. I want to say it's just a fall. It's just a longer fall down, brother. But with that being said, I'm gonna name some running backs, fellas. I'm gonna name some running backs, and because we have a plethora of free agent running backs, that fellas, we got some guys. DeAndre Swift, free agent. Pollard, the free agent. Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley. Of that group of running backs, which one of them do you want to see, or which one do you think in the right situation has an elite season?
And if all you niggas say the same name, I'm sending y'all ass to the gulag because he just told y'all.
Derrick Henry to Dallas, that would be crazy.
I gave niggas a list.
I promise.
Wait, what was the list?
For the next 40 minutes, it'll just be me and J Rob. I dare all you niggas to say Saquon.
That's not.
I dare all y'all to say Saquon.
I'll start with it first, even though
Saquon's staying, bro.
I dare all y'all.
Yeah, but like even though it was a Cardinals sin, what I was about to say, because I'm not gonna lie, Saquon to the Cowboys would be like one of the greatest things on earth for that offense.
What are we talking about?
I would lean towards Saquon going to the Chargers. I mean, going to the Chargers. You got Justin Herbert. You got Jim Harbaugh. You know Jim Harbaugh likes to tote the rock. And you actually have a running back who can move in between the tackles. Unlike Austin Eckler, because everybody's finally realized he's a fantasy football merchant. So if you bring Saquon Barkley to the Chargers, you draft like Brock Bowers, you get another receiver because Keenan Allen, of course, Keenan Allen's still a dog. They cut Mike Williams, so they're probably going to address the receiver room again. You get all these receivers to all these weapons to help out Justin Herbert, and you have Saquon, and he can still very valuable in the receiving game, bro. We can definitely see enough, and this probably the first time in Saquon's career where he doesn't have 8-man stacked boxes every single play because there's so many people we got to worry about. So we can easily see 1,400 yards, 13 TDs, like hey, and he had that in the 2022 season with nobody around him. So he brings these guys around him, man, that'd be the best year of his career,
bro. Wow. Saquon to Dallas would be crazy because, when you talk about like stacked boxes, you're not facing that in Dallas because they want to throw the ball a million times.
Yeah,
and then when it
as
comes
a safety valve for Dak too.
Facts.
And then when it comes to that, right? Free agent wise, this is the best running back class I've seen in God knows how long. So, I think part of it has to do with how much people have devalued the running back position. But, like when you look at the league now, it's kind of trending more towards teams that look at some of the teams that were in it at the end, right? Baltimore was one of the best running football teams in football. San Francisco, Detroit, these are teams that their identity is a lot to be made up of from how well they run the football. So if I'm a team, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, damn, I have my choice at Henry, Saquon, Derek, Josh Jacobs. I don't know, man. I'm taking a fly. I'm investing in one of these running backs, no doubt about it.
Give me Derrick Henry. Give me Derrick Henry to the Bears. I think if they get Caleb Williams, take the pressure off him a little bit, get a veteran running back there who we know is going to give you 1,000 yards. Derrick Henry to the Bears, I think, solidifies their running back position. They're going to have the wide receiver pieces there for Caleb. I think Caleb, we always talk about Chicago not putting their quarterbacks in the best situation to succeed. Adding Derrick there to Caleb Williams with the Chicago Bears and that defense too. That's a phenomenal team. That's a team that's making the playoffs. 100%.
They already got running backs. I'm out for the Bears, so that's kind of tough for me because they got Rashawn Johnson and then Khalil Herbert. They kind of believe in those two guys, so I don't know if they would kind of go for running back. But I 100% see what you're saying. For me, I'm going to go another NFC North team, one of the worst running teams last year. And I'm going to go Vikings, and I'm going to go, let's put Josh Jacobs on the Vikings. They definitely need a running back for that team to really open up the pass game. And I don't know when exactly Kirk Cousins is going to come back, whether it's going to be the beginning of the year, whether it's going to be the middle of the year. But one thing we do know is that they were not able to run the ball. Alexander Madison, terrible. Cam Akers doesn't work. So they need someone who could not only open up that play action game, which will be good to kind of get some quick passes for not only TJ Hawkinson, but maybe even Jordan Addison or obviously Justin Jefferson, but also kind of pound the rock right up the middle and actually get those short yardage so they can have like shorter yardage downs, which is they're very important. The Vikings really couldn't do that. They had to convert like more of these longer downs on third down for the Vikings, which makes it harder to play football. So give the Vikings a running back, give them a running game, and they could be a scary team for sure.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
So I got Derrick Henry to the Green Bay Packers. I think him with Jones in the background. I think that's a good like 1-2 punch tandem, like because Jones could be more of a receiving back. Henry can do the regular like first 2 downs kind of thing. And Saquon, if you've been paying attention, he's been adding a lot of Texan players on Instagram and social media and stuff like that. And I think he would be perfect with Singletary, Tank Dell, Nico Collins stretching the floor so he doesn't have they're not gonna stack the box. Singletary is gonna be a good gadget type, like think of like a young Zeke Pollard type situation. That would be like
Singletary's a free agent too, so I don't know if he's returning.
The unique thing with Derrick Henry,
they have Davian Pierce though, so
the unique thing with Derrick Henry though, you're not going to be able to send Derrick Henry to a situation where it's a 1-2 type of thing because of the type of running back he is.
Yeah,
he's an old school running back that'll need at least 10 carries to start getting warm. So you're doing yourself a disservice bringing him somewhere where, come in for these 2 downs, and then like, nah, you got to kind of like just sit Derrick Henry out there because you know one of them big runs coming. So it's like pause. But he's just one of them backs, bro. You just sit him out there. So him being able to go somewhere where you got to split or become more of a 1-2 type of dude, I really don't see that. Honestly, it's between Saquon, Jacobs, and even Derrick Henry. If they don't want to fuck with Singletary, somebody will go down there because them is just ideal situations for running backs because I think Harbaugh might try to get his boy Blake Corum.
I agree.
Just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, coaches do stuff like that. If you need a running back, why go get one that's almost 30 years old when you got a couple 21, 22-year-old running backs? And me, myself, personally, I like Corum. I think he a bell cow. He can be a bell cow in the NFL, given that given the situation that Jim Harbaugh gonna put him in. Oh, he's gonna be a hell of a running back, especially in LA with Herbert. Houston is only one of the few places because they got the O-line to, like I said, Saquon been hurt just from having inadequate blocking and seeing all them stacked boxes. Derrick Henry almost 30. You said, do you really just want to put him with a bad O-line? Josh Jacobs, he looking for the bag anyway. Since you got CJ Stroud still on his rookie deal, you better pay him something to get him there. So like them is like the only ideal teams that can like really hit that bargain because if you think about Minnesota, right? They really emergency critical condition for a quarterback. So I mean, if they go pay a Josh Jacobs, you see what I'm saying? Because they really need to try to figure out how they go pay a quarterback to come back up in there.
Right. Yeah, they got to figure something out.
Real quick to the chat because the chat keeps on.
Green Bay, they need some. They could probably benefit more from somebody like Austin Eckler than those other 3 guys right there. In the sense of what, but look what they finna do. They looking for somebody. They want a 1-2, whatever their system is. They want that shit to be a 1-2 type system.
Or Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards would be very good for the Packers as well.
I want to ask you this, Emma, because a lot of people don't think Derrick Henry can like run like a RPO type of running back system because he's a single back iPhone type of player. Do you think Derrick Henry can like work on that? You think he can work in a system like that? Because a lot of people think Derrick Henry. Like a lot of people think an RPO situation. A lot of people don't think that's not Derrick Henry because everybody has seen Derrick Henry has been like he's a single back guy. I'm gonna throw a stretch. Like
I know it's college, bro, but he kind of ran that shit at Alabama, so it's like he just one of them running backs, bro. Just put him on the field, bro. If it's a
I agree. I think he can. I don't think he can't do it because I've seen him do it before. Like
Can I give an unpopular opinion that hasn't been said? I'm daring to be different right here, but this is something I was thinking about. I know like the team like the Ravens has been linked to Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley as a team that's going to pay him. But to be honest, in my opinion, I think the Baltimore Ravens should really go after Josh Jacobs or DeAndre Swift. One, if you go after a DeAndre Swift, you don't got to pay him a lot of bread. And you can stockpile, you can grab, because you got to remember, fellas, there might be a situation where Odell Beckham Jr. is not coming back through that door. So you're still going to have to recover some offensive weapons. And if you can add a running back like DeAndre Swift with Gus Edwards, you got that bell cow back in Gus Edwards, and then you get that lightning, great running back. And obviously we saw with the Eagles, with a great O-line, DeAndre Swift clearly can still rush for 1,200 yards in the season. Obviously, he gets taxed because of the tush push, because if he gets on the 1 yard line, is what time it is for the Eagles. But he would have probably had more touchdowns, and it probably would have been more expensive. So the fact that you could probably get him for 3 years, probably like between 16 and $18 million over a 3-year span, that'd be pretty doable. And he's a home run hitter at the position, and I think that also gives you some room. Why not try to go after a T. Higgins? You know what I'm saying? Why not try to throw some bread at a Mike Evans? Why not try to, because you're probably going to draft a receiver anyway, but if you can go get one of these premier guys in the league, or shit, if you need something on your defense, something on your back end, you can also fill a hole with the extra money you may end up saving if you get a Saquon or a Derrick Henry, they're gonna be expensive. And then too, Saquon Barkley, injury prone, man. Like it is in his thing. So
let me the thing with the Ravens,
let me dare to be different. Wait, let me dare to be
one second, Mike. The thing with the Ravens though is that they have I think they have the most free agents out of any other team. Like they have a lot of people that they have to play. A lot of people.
The Ravens?
Yeah, the Ravens. They have a lot of free agents this year.
Right. And so I feel like, and I agree. And the fact that they do have a lot of free agents, if they could kind of still get better and save money, because let's be honest, Lonnie, like some of them people they're signing them back. I think they're bringing back Patrick Queen for sure. There's no way you break up that tandem. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to
get that bring back that D lineman too.
They have some O linemen too. Gus Edwards. So they have a lot of people.
Rob, with your speculation, I like this. This is just 2 quick questions with the speculation, right? Should I know the O line is still bad, but Josh Jacobs possibly should try. I feel like they should try to get him over in Carolina. Miles Sanders not doing it. They need a bona fide good back. Miles Sanders was just a merchant of that good offensive line. Maybe he'll go over to Carolina. 2, so somebody put this in the chat. If Miami wins one of them running back sweepstakes, because you remember right before they tried to get Jonathan Taylor, so they on the look for a premier running back, right? Say they do get a premier running back and they don't win a playoff game. Do we move off of Tua next year?
Yes.
Oh, there's actually a report that
you're moving off Tua regardless for me.
No, apparently Tua's agents are at the combine to discuss their contract. They're figuring out a contract discussion already. Like they're already meeting at the combine to discuss a deal for him for Tua.
Yeah, I wouldn't move off Tua.
You say that again?
Don't give him a crazy bag.
Tua's agents are meeting with the Dolphins staff at the combine to hammer out a extension next week. So while the combine's going on, they're figuring out an extension.
I think Tua get a prove it deal too.
So my dare to be different guy?
Probably.
Oh, wait,
hey, just get a home field advantage and they'll win a playoff game.
Go ahead, Michael.
I want Zach Moss in Dallas because he's cheap and he actually performed better than I thought he would. I don't know. I get they have Steichen, but I still feel like he played better than I thought he would. Even given that they have a decent offensive line and everything, but that's one. But I think Josh Jacobs needs to go somewhere where he is really going to be a bell cow guy because he is that. He needs to go somewhere with a decent offensive line or just somewhere that's going to give him the opportunity. I think Carolina was a good choice for that. I think Baltimore would be the number one, but as you said, they got to pay Patrick Queen. I do think I don't know if they're able to sign both of them, but I feel like they could. They would just have to make tough decisions in other aspects and kind of not be as deep on defense maybe as they were last year. So I think that's something to consider, but it would be tough.
I like it. So, anybody got any other thoughts on that running back carousel, or that good? That's solid.
Gus Edwards, the Patriots will take him.
Gus Edwards to the
shout out
Patriots.
to Devin
Lonnie, I got something for you. Lonnie, I got something for you. Rumor mill. You know, I'm always in the rumor mill. So it is rumored that former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick loved Jaden Daniels and had him as the top quarterback on his draft.
So we're not picking him. That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me. We're not picking him. I'm telling you this right now, chat. I'm letting you guys know I'm always gonna be a Patriot at heart, but I'm used to winning. I'm not like J-Rob with the Jets
Lord
or whatever.
This is not a straight to me.
I'm not like y'all.
Damn, that was
I'm used to winning. I'm used to winning. So I will take a high if we don't at least get MHJ. If we like get an O lineman or we like trade down, I'm taking a hiatus for a few years.
If you go the Hellfire route, you're gonna take a hiatus. You tell me?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a hiatus. I'm gonna join the Mahomes train or somebody. No, actually, no. I'm CJ's my guy, so I'm riding with the Texans. And Arian Foster was like one of my favorite running backs. Andre Johnson, JJ Watt. So it's like I'm gonna be a Texans fan for a little while. You can see me on. That's what it's gonna have to be until we get a competent quarterback. I'm with CJ. I'm with CJ.
So let me ask you this next question. Cam Newton, because we got a little bit of time, about 15 minutes. Cam Newton recently came out and said there's not another NFL athlete that has impacted the community more than he did. Do y'all think he is the most, I guess, iconic or impactful player in football? And do you think he has some merit in what he's saying?
I think he has all the merit in the world in what he's saying. I said this in Open Field yesterday. I'll make it quick. That man it's sad that man doesn't get his credit for what he did for mobile quarterbacks, because even when Cam Newton backpacked that Auburn team and had the best college season of all time, people still didn't think he would work out because of how he played. And then he went in and proved that he could do it. And because his longevity isn't there, people are going to knock that man's thing. And my thing is like, look, that dude has the impact of a Peyton Manning and a Tom Brady. People may be like, oh, you're capping. No, I'm not. Because he was the first mobile quarterback to win an MVP and do it the way that he did. That means something. And people would not treat Tom Brady and Peyton Manning the way that they do Cam Newton now on those fields fighting him. Like, I don't like it.
You know Peyton Manning and Tom Brady not running around telling everybody, oh, I had an impact on football. Like,
yeah, they just know it. I think they're at a different level.
But they also got way better in their careers than Cam did.
I tell folks that
they got way better.
But I'm not gonna lie though, Bama. Even win though, bro. I feel like, bro, like he has some in it, because even though if we talk about just a football perspective, y'all also gotta think, nigga, his 7-on-7 program has brought on a lot of NFL.
Not debating that, Trent.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna say like the most iconic, but he kind of cooking in that standpoint.
He has a lot of impact.
Let me ask you this though, Trent. Let me ask you this. I did a lot of interviews with you where we talked to a lot of players. Subscribe to Trent channel, VIP room. We going up next year. But anyway, bro, a lot of them players, how they talk about your dad, bro, they just say how great of a man he is. Your dad never got up on, every time your dad got on our show, he never talked about, oh, I missed this coach. I turned this around. I did this for special teams. But when people talk about your dad, they voluntarily say those things. And y'all are right. Cam has done all of these things, but it really rubs people the wrong way, society the wrong way, when you got somebody that's great and they constantly telling you, bro, I'm so great. It wouldn't be this without me. If it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be this.
I don't like that though. You know why I don't like that though? Bama, you know why I don't like that? Bama, you know why I don't like that?
He's a young dude.
We've seen other people in different types of genres say the same shit, like a Kanye West, who didn't impact the game, and he gets respect for it. Kanye done started a lot of shit. 808 and Heartbreaks, the album might be mid.
Bro, he calls himself Jesus. Bro, he calls himself Jesus. Like,
he calls himself a god.
It took him 25 years to hold Kanye accountable on anything he said. And anytime Cam Newton does something that, look, maybe he shouldn't have said.
Yeah,
we're not
going
to compare. Cam Newton is nowhere near
I hear what you're saying.
Cam Newton is nowhere near Kanye West though in terms of impact, cultural influence.
That's not the point, Jalen.
The point is Kanye. One of the big things that,
and that's another thing too,
people
Dave,
kind of attach themselves to Kanye is him saying how great he is. Right. So I hear what you're saying, Bama. You want people to kind of let their impact speak for itself. But we've seen figures that existed that spoke and people listened. And Cam Newton is probably just going to be one of those guys. When I first heard the question, though, I was thinking like on like general mainstream worldwide impact and popularity. That was the first thing that came to mind. Because some names that came to mind obviously was Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, when he came and did what he did,
right?
His
impact
was people were all coloring their hair blonde because of Odell Beckham.
He was the culture.
Everybody wanted to catch it one-handed. Like he was a superstar. He was a wide receiver superstar in the NFL. So Odell Beckham definitely was one. But it's hard for me to say Cam Newton.
He wasn't bragging and boasting. He was dancing, and we
bragging and boasting.
Odell was in love with I know. I know Odell personally. He is one of the most cocky, but he can back it up. That same thing with Kanye. Same thing with Kanye. They talk they shit, but they can back it up. And the thing is, like what Dave said, though, Cam wouldn't be doing this, and he wouldn't be doing this if he wasn't getting disrespected the way he does.
Recently,
that's a good point. So, like a big thing in our community, unfortunately, is that like sometimes, like when people come back down and like we give back to the community, sometimes like it gets downplayed. So it's like he's doing this for the kids and stuff like that. Then you'll see like the videos of like the kids calling him trash and wash and stuff like that. But it's like, yo, he's doing this for free for y'all. Like he's doing this for y'all. And y'all like spitting in his face again and again. So yeah, that like affects people's egos. And like you don't see that with other communities as much.
Again,
it's part of our culture, but it's like a negative thing, a part of our culture at the same time.
Talking to them kids, chat. I deal with kids on a date 20, 19, 21, 18. Again, the way you talk to them is going to be the way they react to you.
Yeah, it's the way they talk
to you. Definitely matters.
So
You're right. You're totally right, man.
I deal with the same group of kids Cam dealing with. So it's like, I hear what y'all saying, but I deal with young.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Nah, that's 7 on 7 every day.
But Cam Newton is not at the level. To me, when I think of like iconicness, it's an impact on the culture and all that. Once I think Michael Vick. I think Michael Vick's just in a whole other stratosphere in terms of being iconic. When he did, when he, I think in Atlanta, but even football circles, what he did, yeah. When he did,
I think Cam has more impact.
Cam
won an MVP.
I gotta understand. Cam Newton has had Cam Newton's 707 program is one of the greatest 707 programs in like in history. Like it's like 707 is like the AAU basketball. His program, they brought in George Pickens, Bo Nick, like he's done play Javon Bake, like he has brought in Travis.
I hear you. That makes sense. I hear you on that. But you think
wait, Jalen, hold on.
Yes, crazy. Yes, also too, nigga, them kids in 7-on-7 because I play 7-on-7 as a top recruit. Nigga, they talk crazy. They don't even beat Cam. There's been literally videos niggas calling Cam wash this and that, and then Cam go back and forth with him. I ain't mad at it because these niggas is talking. Oh, you wash, you a bum ass.
Michael Vick was more.
But like Bama, what Bama is saying is
Michael Vick was bigger than Odell though. Michael Vick.
Wait, one thing though. Look,
Michael Vick is huge, but what Bama is saying is very important though. Like I hear what you're saying, Trent, but I feel like this is just from my perspective. I feel like if Peyton Manning held the 7-on-7, nobody would talk crazy to Peyton Manning. They just wouldn't think of it. It was just like it's just the same.
That's a disrespectful thing on Cam, though. That's
no. I agree. I agree.
I don't think y'all understand, bro.
Wait, Bama, wait.
Listen here. I'm trying to explain to y'all, bro. My girl don't watch no sports, bro. I showed her some of Cam Newton. She was like, he come off kind of arrogant, literally just from seeing him. It's like he just comes off that way, bro. And I just know interacting with people, especially people that might not have as much as you have, when you come with that sense of entitlement, oh, I'm this, I'm $100 million man. Even if you not like just telling people I got $100 million, just that demeanor and that energy you give off, like it's a way you can
look. Sam, I agree.
For instance, Peyton Manning, they both 6'5" dudes. Peyton Manning 6'5", Cam 6'5".
Let me tell
you. Especially Eli Trent. Eli's going to talk to you more of a down-to-earth type person to where it's like, damn, I could have a beer with this dude right here. That's
nobody would 100%. Nobody.
Wait,
Cam Newton, I feel like, damn, bro, it's going to be a point in time where that nigga might come on some big bank take little bank. That's how I be feeling like, bro. He might.
Wait, Bama, please. Let me add something here.
Check my bank account.
Let me add something here. I just want to say about Cam. I think the impact, the 7-on-7 stuff, is great and adds to the legacy that already was there. But to me, why Cam Newton is so important to football is because there was no quarterbacks who was really okay with fully being themselves and creating an image. And yes, the spotlight was on him, and that could be considered selfish. But I think what more of it is, if you listen to what he's talking about, he has always been him. You know, he's never tried to be outside of the box of who he is. And so that's what comes with the dressing. That's what comes with the way that he talks. And to me, I think that is the most important thing. Because the
that's
whole
not
thing
necessarily
about being,
a good thing. Just
he
being
sound like a
yourself.
female when they have a toxic
I do
trait.
think it's
When they
important.
have a toxic trait that is not
important
conducive to starting a relationship.
Because like, you can make the same argument for like Kadarius Toney being himself, and then he did his BS by going on Instagram Live.
No,
Antonio Brown's being
he's
himself.
being
Antonio Brown being himself.
Cam was really like that. He was a leader.
Dave, I don't think
Like,
y'all
Cam was a
boys
leader.
understand about kids, man. It's not about just coming off arrogant, man. These kids just want to be able to know that they can touch you, man, and be able to relate to you, man. If you have this demeanor, I'm talking about this around my school right now. We're trying to get younger people in here to become administrators because all the old peoples create this environment that's not welcoming to an 18-year-old boy or girl coming here to school. Just the vibe of it. They so professional. It's so straightforward. It's so strict. They don't know how to put the shoe over. They don't know how to recollect of when they was 18 or 19 and the worries of you coming into a new school. They don't. I'm talking to kids every day, bro. So if you got an arrogant demeanor about you, first off, these young kids are just finna be like, hey, bro, fuck you. I ain't even finna talk to you like that for real. Then the fact that they don't want to talk to you, these kids already hostile about people not being able to understand them. They feel like they so misunderstood. So they have this built up aggression, right? So now the Mr. Arrogant dude, right? Even though I'm just being me, right? If I'm an upset little child because I ain't ate no cereal this morning, or I've been waiting on my daddy or some shit like that, and he ain't came to come pick me up, right? I go to this camp. I'm hyped up about this camp. I'm mad. Then here come this big arrogant nigga talking about something. Oh, I'm $100 million. Y'all need to get on my leg. You know how these coaches
it's like that, bro. I think that's a gross interpretation.
But this is what I'm saying. It's been times in football where these coaches talk some of this shit to where it's just like, damn, bro, I really can't believe he said that. So in the path of being a hungry football player, bro, these kids really be hungry for this shit now. You coming off with demeanor, bro.
Michael, you've heard people be disrespectful before.
I can't
like, you
relate
heard very
to you.
young people be crazy disrespectful.
If I feel like I can't relate to you, bro. If I feel like I can't relate to you, it's just hard. Us as adults, dog, you got to realize that these kids is the future. So we got to get on their wave. We got to figure out how to bridge the gap between what values and morals we have and then relate it to them where they at. That's the problem with old heads. We always want to, well, it was like this. So you here with me, you at my camp. So you need to be the same. Like, no, we need to learn them kids, right? Show them I'm willing to learn you. I'm willing to get on one knee and lock arms with you and go from there. A lot of the times, people just like, hey, this is me, and it's either you go come to my camp and deal with how I deal with it, and that's why they be trying to fight his ass. So until then,
look, I just know. Wait, Bama. One thing, Bama. One thing, Bama. I just think also the reason why it becomes hostile is because of when you're a superstar and everything that you talked about and how these kids can't relate to him. Sometimes that's just what's going to happen, and it doesn't have anything to do with how Cam is reacting to these kids. This is just the type of energy that you receive when you're a superstar. So I do agree that some of your points could be correct, but when Cam Newton is just getting chatted on by 20 kids that, you know, are just trying to make it, like, that is because he's a superstar. If he wasn't a superstar, he wouldn't be getting talked like that. And I can understand how he needs to be.
That's not true.
Better,
we brought up the example.
Like Bama, I've also worked with kids, and what Bama's saying is accurate. Like, you don't know like some of the situations these kids come from, and sometimes like that is their outlet. That is how they're like expressing themselves, and it's like they low key they want, like, yeah, he's arrogant, but they want him to acknowledge them. And so, yeah, them talking crazy to them, they're trying to get him to recognize them as an individual. And so that's to be expected. If you're picking all these players up from the gutter and stuff like that, like, that's the type of energy they're gonna come with. And like, Cam also came from that place, so he should be able to understand that. So it's like, you know what you're getting yourself into when you're dealing with these kids on a daily basis.
I also think Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton thinks he's
man. They neglected and misunderstood.
Cam Newton thinks he's more of a legend or an icon than he really is. Cam Newton is great in football, and I get it, but he doesn't transcend.
Y'all
no, listen. He doesn't transcend.
We don't have to. He transcended.
No, listen. No, hold on. Guess what? No, I have plenty of friends who don't watch football. They know who Patrick Mahomes is. They know who Michael Vick was. They know Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. They know them. They don't even watch football. I promise you, they don't know Cam Newton. If I mention Cam Newton, they don't know Cam Newton. He doesn't transcend football like
that's
that.
Complete
he was great
bullshit.
as a football player. He had his run. The longevity wasn't there. That's fine.
You're wrong.
He doesn't transcend football. He's not some huge American sports star. He's not. He's not that guy.
No, that's BS. What are you talking about? He transcended college football and NFL football. Nobody did what Cam Newton did on the field.
He was arguably the greatest college football player ever. Ever.
He was the greatest player. You guys are.
I think Jalen's only saying that he's not at a certain pedestal. It's really about the level that we.
It's like he's not an A-list celebrity, but he's still like a B-list celebrity.
LeBron James.
We don't have to get offended. We don't have to get offended from a million.
He's just not that star. He's just not that star like that.
It's not like he's Tom Brady, and that's fine. It's not like he's Peyton Manning, and that's fine. He doesn't have to be. I do think Cam Newton has a lot of popularity. Well, when I'm really thinking about, I just thought about like the most impactful football player. It just might be Deion Sanders. Like it really just might be Deion Sanders.
It's not the most impactful. Not by any stretch.
I don't think Cam Newton's even close.
I'm not saying he is.
I'll be honest.
He's way more transcendent than Cam. He's way more transcendent than Cam.
You know, Sanders.
Can I say someone that doesn't get enough recognition though?
Of course, Deion's way more transcendent than Cam.
Like the reason why we wear jewelry up under our pads, man. Deion, dog.
Like Deion is like the AI.
He single-handedly revitalized the whole culture.
And Cam Newton thinks he's Allen Iverson. Cam Newton thinks he's Allen Iverson, and he's not.
No, I don't think it's. I think
he's Allen Iverson. He's not.
I think Cam feels slighted because of the chances of what happened at the end of his career. And yes, I don't think that that's necessarily super fair. But what I will say is, I said this on Open Field yesterday, if the Carolina Panthers wanted to extend his career 10 to 12 years, then they would have surrounded him with pieces. And by the time he was old, his shoulder was literally detached from his freaking body because of how many hits he took having to get those touchdowns and carry the way he did. So I can understand why he has this mindset. Now, is it a little based off of ego than you would like? Sure, but everybody is human, and Cam is.
He got a little Paul Pierce to him. Paul Pierce be thinking he a lot better than.
I don't think it's close. Paul Pierce is way worse than Cam. I can see what you're saying.
I don't think he's like the greatest athlete of all time. I think he does recognize his impact, especially in his community and for like the culture, which is fair because he has a lot of impact and he's growing in influence even now to the point where ESPN is consistently bringing up his quotes to talk about game manager versus game changer, right? So Cam Newton seeing this, like people are listening to me. People are hearing what I have to say, and it matters. Yeah. So
real quick though, like because culture aside, though, like someone that does not get like the recognition enough for what they did in 2017, JJ Watt during that hurricane, what he did for that community,
it was like $20 million, right? Like $20 million.
I think it was more than that. But like what he was at first just asking for 100,000, and then like he brought in hundreds of millions of dollars. Like people understand like the impact. Because Texas was
and
fucked.
He never asked
for Drew Brees too. Drew Brees is another one.
A lot of players do things without
Drew Brees helped out in Alabama when we had them tornadoes.
A lot of players do things without the cameras. A lot of players do that. They don't need the cameras, and that's perfectly fine.
But what I be trying to explain to y'all, when Drew Brees was coming back from that surgery, he worked out at the gym I used to work out at Mountain Brook because we got Dr. Andrews, that professional, famous physical surgeon or whatever. So a lot of athletes come back to Birmingham, and the gym where I used to go is right next to St. Vincent's where they go. Like I try to tell, like this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all, dog. Drew Brees was in there doing his rehab or whatever. I'm playing basketball over there by myself. It was like one random Sunday, dog. And it's like he saw me looking at him, and I'm not big on pictures or none of that. The dude rehabbing. And it was just, he saw, bro, like you see Drew Brees, it's like you go.
He's an empathetic individual.
And then he looked and he was like, he invited me, like, what's up, man? Like, just to talk.
Yeah.
I feel like that right there, just being able to be an approachable guy, man. That's what these kids be. That's why I'm trying to tell you, like, a dude like Drew Brees wouldn't just get punched on by a kid, because little shit like that tells you how inviting they are to people. Like, it's just not about, oh, I'm just great. Like, Cam, we know you great, brother. But a lot of the great people don't have to tell people how great they are, bro. Like, Your greatness is gonna speak for itself, bro. Let it die down for a second. Be quiet for a minute. Maybe 5-10 years might have to go by, but when that shit does go by and it settles down, bro, that impact that you say you have your chest poked out about, bro. Once you are missed out the league, dog, people sit back and think, man, I remember when Cam did X, Y, and Z. I remember when Cam did this. Because that's the thing. Michael Vick don't say shit. And anytime you see a running quarterback, oh, man, that reminds me of Mike Vick. How he did this. I remember when Mike Vick did this. All of this, X, Y, and Z. Vick ain't got to sit up here and be like, hey, bro, I was whoop-de-whoop. I'm running, I'm mixing. He don't have to say none of that. It's just understood. Vic was that dude. You feel me? Just like
Vic is a lot more humble.
Cam has a great input. We're not debating that.
Needs to be,
but brother, turn the notch down. I understand, Michael, what you said about how they fucked his career. He has every right to feel some type of grudge towards the NFL. But them kids out there at your camp, they ain't got nothing to do with that. So you need to get up off that high horse from when they fucked you in the NFL. Excuse my language, from how they did you in the NFL. But when it's time to talk to them kids, dude, you need to get down on me and look them eye to eye. Now you looking down at them. You not 2015 Cam with an MVP going to the Super Bowl no more. Bro, you are a mentor. Right. So you need to look them kids eye to eye. Some of them kids need a big brother or a father figure, but they don't.
Yeah, they don't need a buddy. They need a father figure. They need someone to look up to.
They don't always need the super. I'll bring up another point because everybody was talking about Cam and he brings up his league. Snoop Dogg arguably has had the same impact with his league.
Yeah, no, he's probably greater, honestly.
Just as Cam. And what happens? What happens? These kids tell you. CJ Stroud had to tell America that, hey man, I grew up in Snoop football league.
I was about to say Snoop's raised some dogs.
Hey, I produced
like 30 years.
CJ Stroud. I produced Joe Mixon. I produced all of these people. No, these kids sit there and they come back and tell you when you have these one-on-ones. Hey, if it wasn't for Uncle Snoop, I don't know what I'd be. But Snoop just smoking weed every day. We just think he a pothead. Whole time he impact a lot of poor nigga babies out there. A lot of them.
I agree.
Yeah. So not just Stroud, Juju, Romeo Dobbs, Nixon, Jack Jones, like a lot of football players came from Snoop's camp.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is like the
all the Oregon
of why you're doing what you're doing is so valuable. When you have someone that is just doing what they're doing, not really talking about it, really feels like it's genuine, trying to help the community. That perception makes it easier for people to approach them and guys see them as that leader. Versus if the perception is, oh, he's only doing this so people pay attention to him. He's only doing this so people think that he's that guy. I'm not even saying that's Cam Newton, but that perception is so important on how people will approach you and how they will react to you. So that's all.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good way to top it off.
Well, that's it, y'all. That's been another episode. See y'all tomorrow on Open Field. This was a good talking point. Tune in to By Any Means tonight. We'll be talking about the Diddy situation, more about what's going.
Oh, I'm
real quick.
Did he get in the Harvey Weinstein treatment?
No, real quick before you end it. When Meek Mill said, "I used to grind like that to shine like this," what did you mean by that? What did you really mean by that?
We could bring up a million bars from a million. If we want to
add some context, these bars be crazy, bro.
All right, y'all.
Take it easy.